What is happening, my people? Welcome to a what to expect video for Cobra Kai season 6 part 3. Before I jump into this, obviously I'm starting with the character that I'm most known notably for doing videos on. This is the final time that these videos are going to happen, these what to expects, because we're at the end. Like, there's no what to expect from Hawk in season 7 because there is no season 7. So in this video, I am very much aware that there is information on part 3 that is out there. I know a fair few things about part 3 myself. I like to be transparent, but I will avoid talking about certain things just to preserve the viewing experience of those watching. So in these videos, I'm going to do my utmost to not talk about certain things. I'm rather going to talk about certain story beats and certain plot points that I feel give a good indication as to where things are going. And I'm going to really try my best to sort of wean away from the leaks. So I'm going to try my best. In this video, let's talk about Robbie Keane. Now, some of my videos are not going to age poorly. I admit that. Not going to age poorly, sorry. You know that meme? Obviously, this particular comment did not age too well. Some of my videos are not going to age fully well. Primarily because I think where they're going with this story, they've set Robbie up for shine in part 1 by beating Miguel. They've set Robbie up for shine in part 2 by beating Quan. And we have seen in the promotional material that he lays the smackdown on Axel. Like, he kicks the fucking shit out of him, which is great. And I'm looking forward to seeing that. I'm looking forward to seeing a locked-in Robbie Keane that's just unfazed, unrelenting. He's fully locked in. He's in his prime. But like I said, Axel is a different gravy to every other kid fighter on this show. The reason for Axel's introduction is primarily because Robbie alone cannot fight him. Like, he can fight him, but he can't beat him. Miguel alone can't beat him. Now, obviously, they could do this whole thing of plot and maybe one or the other have him beat him. That's entirely possible. But I just don't see the way Axel has been built up, and especially with Quan's death, I feel like Axel is a two-man job. People can say I'm coping. I'm looking at it from a story point of view. Go watch Rocky. And with that being said, Robbie is now shining on the world stage. This ex-degenerate, if you will. Sort of like his father, this juvenile punk who nearly killed someone, is now shining on the world stage. It's incredible. I really love the development of Robbie throughout this show. I know everyone has their particular camp of Miguel or Robbie. It doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter. Like, excuse my French. It doesn't matter. It doesn't affect our lives whatsoever. For God's sake, they're both on the same team. I love how there's that massive divide still going after all these years. But for me, obviously, everyone will have their preferences and whatever, and that's fine. But I feel like with where the story's going, Robbie is definitely being built up to be a mentor type role, which, he has been groomed for since season 4 with the introduction of Kenny. And I feel like the conversation that Miguel gave to him to inspire him to beat Quan, I feel like we could see a similar thing with Robbie telling Miguel, while Miguel steps up inevitably to fight Axel, because as the trailer clearly suggests, Johnny's Cobra Kai does return. You can see that specific logo. People have said it could be a flashback. People have said, come on. So it's very much likely, with it also going back to the All Valley, we're going back to the roots of season 1. Robbie will most likely go down swinging, and it'll be like that classic case of he's not defined by a tournament win. He can define his future however he wants. He's got his family now. There's something he never had before. His connection with his dad is stronger, and going on a full circle from when the last time he was at the All Valley. He was on an opposite side to Johnny. And then the All Valley before that, he was on an opposite side to Johnny. This time he's on the same side with him. And look, I'd be lying if I said it isn't a bit disheartening that Robbie doesn't end up with a trophy. I've talked a lot about this, especially in that Hawk video I just recently did. Go and check that out. The fact that Eli has a trophy in this show and the son of Johnny Lawrence, when it's about redeeming Johnny Lawrence, doesn't have a trophy, it doesn't sit right with me. Robbie should have won in season 4, and I stand by that because there's so much they could have done, and they didn't. But it's fine. Hey, it is what it is. But Robbie has continued to go from strength to strength, and, I do feel like sometimes in this show they overplay the whole he looks at people and then gets distracted thing. That's happened to him so much throughout the show. In season 1, I understood it because he looked at Johnny. He's not fighting Miguel. He's fighting to prove a point against his dad. In season 4, he gets distracted by Kenny. All right, cool. Season 6 was too much. It was like he could see Tori from like 5 miles away. Like, stop the cap. But I really am looking forward to seeing what part 3 has in store for Mr. Keene. And I know everyone's expecting, okay, well, Miguel will fight Axel. Robbie will have nothing. Robbie is very clearly going to be a sensei. It's been written in the stars for him for nearly since season 4. Even season 2, you can see it. It's sensei vibes are everywhere. Every scene he exudes is sensei. And I feel like with him going on his character arc of losing again and again and again and again, and as much as it's annoying, the objective reason, of course, he's losing again and again because he needs to know loss before he understands the win. And, you know, if you've watched Coach Carter, it reminds me a lot of that. And that's a freaking amazing movie. But Robbie leads the team, he leads the charge, and inevitably, when the worst happens, Miguel will step up and avenge his brother. It's not, oh, Miguel has aura, you know. It's get that. No, it's much more deeper than that. It's more empowering. It's nothing to do with Stanford and college. It's avenging his brother. And that to me is exactly what I wanted. That's something that I needed. And for the last year, I've gotten comments left and right saying, oh, it started with Miguel, it should end with Miguel. It's deeper than that. There needs to be something emotionally compelling for Miguel to win. He deserves more. And now he's gotten the fuel. Inevitably, when Robbie steps up, it's going to be like, you're going to hear the crowd chanting Robbie's name. It's going to be great. It's going to be emotional. It's going to be like, oh my God, finally, Robbie's getting his licks in. He's kicking this guy's ass. He's proving that Axel can be beat. And then inevitably, plot will happen. And then Miguel will step up. And then Robbie will help Miguel. And I said this as well. If we're going to do this whole switcheroo thing and we're going to put Miguel in the final fight, I want there to be a moment where Robbie talks to Miguel. Like, I know, and again, this is the problem. The show doesn't go all in, but I really want there to be a scene when Miguel's fighting Axel. There's a break in play and Robbie gives him a pep talk, not Johnny. That would be great. Of course, homaging season 1 and the whole show, and we love Johnny and Miguel, but I would love for Robbie to have a moment with his bro, the same way Miguel helped him before he fought Quan. It's a full circle. It's not coping, it's storytelling. Go watch Power Rangers, Tommy and Jason. It's in a kid's show with people saying it's morphing time, for Christ's sake. Goku and Vegeta, it's everywhere. I want that kind of dynamic to be explored. And what's great about part 3, in my opinion, as much as we know a lot about the tournament, we don't know much about anything outside of it. Anything at all. So that's where my main focus is. Right now, the tournament is what it is. It's going to be cool. It's going to be epic. But I'm interested, especially in the case of Robbie, what is the future in store for Mr. Keene? Where does he go from here? And I've always very much liked the idea of him, you know, Miguel gets his Stanford, Hawk becomes a freaking cage fighter, Dimitri goes off to MIT. I've always liked the idea of Robbie becoming an international karate champion, going from country to country. If any of you have seen Fast and Furious, family, Brian in the second film, in the opening, went from state to state, beating every single person as he went to get better. So when he fought Dom in the later movies, again, adjusting for plot, Brian should have won. Dom and him had races. Brian should have won, but plot. You know, it's just that little bit of build-up where it adds layers to Robbie's character. He never stops training, regardless of what side of the fence he's on. He's learned from Silver. He's learned from Kreese. He's learned from Daniel, Johnny, Chosen, Mike. He's learned from every single sensei. And, you know, in part 1, he beats Johnny's main student, Miguel. In part 2, he beats Kreese's main student. And in part 3, he shows that Silver's student can be beaten. He's very crucial and key to Johnny's redemption arc. And you know, it gives Johnny the motivation of, hey, you've just hurt my son. Like, forget, you know, the silverware and focus on the real shit here. You've just hurt my boy. Like, and it goes back to season 3 when Johnny goes to tell Carmen how he feels. He looks at Miguel, sees him all bloodied up, without any hesitation, storms to that dojo, wants to put the smoke to Kreese immediately, sees Robbie in a gi, And any chance of him hearing Kreese out went right out the window then. It's like, no, you've hurt my son, and now you've hurt my other son. Oh, nah, we got to scrap now. Like, I think Robbie has always been that crucial element that's linked to all the characters. Whatever, Robbie is the chess piece player. Whatever position you move Robbie on the chessboard, it affects the other characters by proxy. And I'm very excited to see what they do with him. I really hope, I'm trusting that John, Josh, and Hayden will deliver a good ending for Robbie. And, you know, that's all that I've ever wanted for this guy. So to me, guys and girls, jump in the comment section down below. Let me know if you agree with any of the points that I've raised. And next up is Miguel, so I'm excited to get into that video. But yeah, I'll see you guys in another video very soon.